Hey, Realtor. Thanks for hopping on. I know your time is valuable, so I'll jump right in. I'm Jasmine Atkins. I spent 2 decades in corporate finance and accounting, and now I work directly with buyers and business owners as a mortgage loan officer, accountant, and life planning advisor. I created this short webinar because we've all experienced the frustrations that come along when deals fall apart. Realtors invest time, energy, and trust into a deal, and then something on the financing side derails it late in the process. This isn't about pointing fingers, it's about understanding why deals fall apart and what can be done earlier to protect your time, your clients, and your closings. This is meant to be practical, not a sales pitch. You don't need to take notes. Just listen for the things that feel familiar because chances are you've already lived them. Now let's get into it. So, who is this webinar for? Basically, this webinar is for realtors that have had or want to minimize the possibility of having deals fall apart because of financing after investing so much time and energy. Just as a failed deal affects both the buyer and the seller, it affects both agents as well. If you're working on a deal where the buyer is being financed by a lender, want fewer surprises mid transaction, and care about your client's experience and your reputation, this is for you. Why do deals really fall apart? One of the biggest misconceptions in real estate is that deals fall apart because of one big issue. In reality, most failed transactions are the result of stacked issues. Small things that weren't caught early enough start piling up, and by the time anyone realizes there's a problem, it's already stressful and emotional. Most of the time, the warning signs were there early, they just weren't fully addressed. The most common root causes I've come across are weak or rushed pre approvals, income or employment surprises, credit being misunderstood or assumed rather than being reviewed, funds not being fully vetted, and breakdowns in communication between the lender and the agent. None of these mean a deal can't close, but when they're discovered late, they create chaos for everyone involved. Pre qualification versus pre approval. This is one of the most important distinctions for agents as we find ourselves explaining the difference to clients more often than not. Sometimes it may be even necessary to ask the buyer clarifying information because they may not know the difference. Simply put, a pre qualification is usually based on unverified information, no documents, no deep review, and a much higher risk of fallout. A true pre approval means income has been reviewed, credit has been analyzed, assets have been checked, and potential conditions are identified upfront. The language matters, but the process behind the letter matters more. So, what should realtors ask? A lot of agents hesitate to ask lenders questions because they don't want to seem difficult. But asking smart questions isn't micromanaging or overstepping, it's protecting the deal. Simple questions like: has income been fully reviewed? Are funds verified and seasoned? Are there any conditions that can impact closing? Is employment valid? Strong lenders welcome these questions because they know aligned expectations help everyone. There are certain red flags that don't automatically kill a deal, but they do need to be handled early. Job changes during escrow, large unexplained deposits, new credit disputes added late, buyers opening new accounts, gift funds that aren't documented properly. When these things come up early, they're manageable, but when they come up late, they become deal killers. Credit is more than just a score. It does get a lot of attention, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Two buyers can have the same score in very different risk profiles. Payment history patterns, recent late payments, utilization swings, and new accounts often matter more than the number itself. Understanding this helps agents set better expectations with buyers from the start. Income and employment issues are one of the biggest reasons deals fall apart late. Some common problems are variable income not averaged correctly, self employed income not calculated correctly, bonus or overtime assumed but not usable, and employment changes during escrow. These aren't always deal breakers, but they are deal disruptors if they're not addressed up front. The cost of poor communication. One of the most stressful things for agents is silence. When updates stop, confidence drops. Realtors shouldn't be blindsided by issues days before closing. Early and honest communication, even when the news is uncomfortable, protects everyone's reputation. Transparency builds trust, silence erodes it. What strong partnerships look like? The strongest lender relationships feel calm even under pressure. The right lender will help you qualify buyers properly, structure strong offers, anticipate issues early, and advocate for the deal through closing. This isn't about hierarchy, it's about teamwork and shared responsibility. What does this mean for your business? When deals fall apart less often, everything improves. You waste less time, your clients are happier, your referrals are stronger, and your reputation stays intact. Your name is attached to every transaction you write. Protecting your process protects your business. All right, that's all I have for today. My goal was simply to give you clarity around where deals tend to go wrong and how to spot issues earlier. If there's one takeaway, it's that better questions up front save a lot of stress on the back end. When buyers are properly qualified, closings are smoother, timelines make more sense, and everyone involved looks better. If you have feedback or want to connect, I'm always happy to continue the conversation. Again, thanks for taking the time to watch, and I hope to see you later.